What's going on, guys? As the commissioner here for True North Goats Fantasy Football League for the season of 25-26. Just want to hit you guys with a quick week one matchup going into the first week of the season. So let's get right into it, shall we? First matchup we have is myself against Audrey. For projected points, I'm projected to get 129.4 compared to Audrey's 133.5. So I am going in as the underdog, but I love rooting for the underdog, so I'm not mad with my position. I also picked some players to watch. Just real quick, I picked for myself my quarterback Jayden Daniels, one of the better rookies of last season. He got some pretty good points for fantasy last season. Got the Commanders to the playoffs, and I expect him to do good things this season as well. I also picked running back Ashton Jeanty from the Las Vegas Raiders. He was their number one overall pick for the last draft class. So he's projected to do really well. Hopefully Pete Carroll can unlock that Raiders offense and he gets some good carries and touchdowns. I also picked my tight end George Kittle. He's one of the number one guys at the 49ers right now. Amazing personality off the field. He's a pretty popular target for Brock Purdy, the quarterback. Let's just see. I know he's getting up there in age, so let's just see if he can keep up with the game. I also picked for Audrey some players for her. I picked her quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Season in, season out, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Multiple league MVPs. You just can't get past the Chiefs in the playoffs, unfortunately. But overall, amazing quarterback. I also picked her running back and wide receiver from the Atlanta Falcons, Bijan Robinson and Drake London. I have no idea who they are. I don't know if they're rookies. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, but they're projected to be my players in those positions. So we'll see. For this one, I am going to give it to Audrey, though. I still believe, don't worry, but I do think Audrey is going to edge me out in this one just because she's just the projected winner, and there is a little bit of a gap. I don't know if my players can make up in that gap. Moving on to the next matchup, we have Alexa against Laurel. Alexa, new to the fantasy scene, auto-picked her draft, which is totally fine. She's projected 127.63 points compared to Laurel's 127.1. So this one is going to be pretty close. This is the one to keep an eye on this weekend, guys. For Alexa's players to watch, I picked her quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, multiple Super Bowl champion. He's proven season in, season out, he's a pretty good quarterback. I just think he's not going to be able to bounce back from their demolition in the Super Bowl last year, so we'll see. I also picked her wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. The Dallas Cowboys are in a bit of a predicament right now just based off of their off-season shenanigans. But I think they're going to do terrible, but CeeDee Lamb's a pretty good wide receiver, so maybe he'll get some points for her. I also picked her tight end, Brock Bowers. Came off of his rookie season with the Raiders last year pretty well. Had high expectations, and I feel like he met those expectations. I think he's going to do amazing things this season as well. For Laurel's players to watch, I picked her quarterback, Joe Burrow from the Cincinnati Bengals. He's a pretty good quarterback as well. He has some pretty deadly targets in his wide receivers, so I think he's going to be able to connect well and get some points. For her, I chose her running back, Christian McCaffrey of the 49ers. He was an amazing running back for them, but he did have a season-ending injury last year. I believe they injected him with some sort of super soldier serum when he was getting treatment for his Achilles tear in Germany. So I think he's going to do amazing this year. I also picked her wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Detroit Lions. He's a pretty reliable wide receiver for them. I think he's going to do pretty well again this year. For this one, I am going to pick the underdog. I am going to go Laurel to get the win, but this is a pretty close matchup, so anything can happen. The next matchup we have is Sandy versus Andres, two first-time fantasy players, two auto-drafters as well. For projected points, Sandy is projected at 129.18 compared to Andres' 131.65. For players to watch for Sandy's team, I picked her quarterback, Jalen Hurts, coming off of the Super Bowl win. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do pretty well. So any position on the Eagles, I think, is going to do well. I also picked her wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, probably the best wide receiver in the league at the moment, but he does have some injury problems, so we'll see how Sunday goes. I also picked her wide receiver, Ladd McConkey from the LA Chargers. he was pretty reliable for them last season. I think he'll do okay, but her other players aren't. I don't think kind of compare up to him. So I think he's going to do all right. For Andres, I picked his quarterback, Josh Allen, former league MVP. The Bills are an amazing team, so I think they're going to do pretty good. Wide receiver for him, I picked his wide receiver, Jamar Chase from the Cincinnati Bengals. He's one of the wide receivers from the Bengals. I got some Buku Bucks contracts during the offseason, so I think he'll do well, but money changes people, so I don't know. I also picked his flex position, wide receiver AJ Brown. Like the same thing with Jalen Hurts, former Super Bowl champ with the Eagles last year. So anyone on the Eagles, I think, is going to do well. For this one, I am going to give the dub to Andres. This one is another close one, but I think Andres, just with Josh Allen and AJ Brown, I think they're going to get him some good points. So I'm going to give him the dub. The last matchup we have is Kreska versus Daniel. Last place against first place, sorry. Kreska is projected at 118.92 points. Daniel projected at 128.01. This one's the most lopsided out of all of them. Players to watch for Kreska, I picked her quarterback, Justin Herbert. I know the Chargers are her team, and that's her quarterback, but we'll see what he can do against the Chiefs. Chiefs are a tough team to play, no matter who you are, so let's see what he can do. I also picked her wide receiver, Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Bucks. He did pretty good last season. Got over 1,000 catching yards, so I think he'll do the same thing this year. And I also picked her wide receiver, Devonta Adams. He's one to watch just based off of his unloyalty to teams. He was on the Raiders for a little bit, and then he went to the Jets. I don't know what all that was about, but now he's on the Rams. So we'll see what he can do. I don't think he's going to be starting very much. He is getting up there in age, but you never know. For Daniel's players, I picked running back Saquon Barkley. Again, another Super Bowl champ with the Eagles. He's going to do amazing. Wide receiver T. Higgins from the Cincinnati Bengals. Same thing with Jamar Chase. He got Buku Buck contract, so we'll see how that improves or declines his game. And then I picked his wide receiver Malik Neighbors. I have no idea who this guy is, but he's projected to win against Kreska's wide receiver, so go Daniel, I guess. I did pick him to get the W against Kreska. I just don't think Kreska's team can make up the points to fill that gap. So those are my picks. That's the recap, or that's the matchup review. I will hit you guys back on Tuesday morning to do a recap of how the weekend went. Go team.